I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I love that Shawn Spears won the NXT North American Championship. I've seen a lot of people online upset about it, and I don't care. I love this move. It was the great move, and to toot my own horn, I kind of predicted this last week. Go check my NXT review last week. I said Shawn Spears is gonna win it, and he did. Now, the reason this is a great move, I just don't think Tony D'Angelo's character works well being a champion. He works way better in story focused settings. Not that he's not a good wrestler, it's just his whole character, the entire family. It's more dedicated towards storylines than it is to championships. Whereas Shawn Spears' thing, it really works both ways. You can tell good stories with him and he can be a champion. In fact, being a champion helps everyone involved with his faction. I know I've hated his character in the past, I hated his whole faction in the past, but ever since Izzy Dame joined and the last few weeks, I've really bought into him. And he looks good with that belt. He looks really good with it. And again, I don't think he's going to hold this championship for very long. It's most likely a transitional reign. You know, there's two options, either Stax or Ricky Saints. Both I'd be happy with. I'm gonna let it play out, see what happens. I'm very happy with this move. Then we have a tag team match, the opener for tonight's show. So Ruka and Zarya go up against Chelsea Green, the NXT WWE Women's United States Champion. And their partner Piper Niven. And this is a pretty solid match, good opener. And so Ruka ends up pinning Chelsea Green. Again, another thing I predicted. Yo, I'm so smart. Just kidding. I'm not really. I predicted this too. I said, Soroka is going to win and she's going to get a United States Championship match. Whether that's on SmackDown or on NXT in a few weeks, I don't know. But I'm excited for this. It's a big match for Soroka, and I think it benefits Chelsea Green too because she's basically just been fighting Michin on SmackDown. So giving her a fresh opponent and an opponent with a completely different style, it's going to be really interesting to see. And we're probably going to fit in Zarya versus Piper Niven in there too somehow. I don't know how. Again, it's going to be a great match. But Soroka versus Chelsea Green, that's going to be an insanely good match. I'm excited for that. And then another tag team thing, the Hardy Boys come out. How happy they are to be back in WWE. They talk about the energy in the locker room and how great it is. And then Hank and Tank comes out and for some reason the crowd booed them. Like, what? I don't get that. What? Oh, never mind. A dumb thing by the crowd, but crowds are like that sometimes. They ask for some inspiration for Hardyz, and the Hardy Boys give them some inspiration. And then Josh Briggs and Inamura come out. I keep butchering his name. He comes out, and the two teams, they fight, go backstage. I want to just credit the Hardy Boys for how much they've been benefiting the NXT roster. Like, whether you like the Hardy Boys or not, the fact that they're in NXT just completely elevates the whole tag team division. And also credit to HBK since he heard the criticisms of tag team wrestling being dead. And since then, the NXT tag team division has been very well alive. But back to the Hardys. Last week, they gave a major spotlight to the NQCC tag team. Like, imagine that. You get to face the Hardy Boys and you're going to have way more eyes on you than you would have with any other tag team facing you. And then even tonight, Hank and Tank and Briggs and Inamura, that feud is completely based around or inspired by something the Hardys. So the Hardys have just come in and created so much opportunity for the NXT tag teams, it's insane. And now they turn around and there stands Fraxiom in the ring. They're going to face next week titles versus titles, or I believe the TNA titles on the line. And it's going to be an amazing match, but I've seen some people also say Fraxiom are going to win and hold the NXT and TNA tag team championships. As cool as that would be, I don't think it's going to happen. Because here's my whole thing. Moose versus Oba Femi is 100% going to end in Moose losing. And I don't think they want to have TNA lose all the matches on that show because you're basically saying, well, TNA sucks then. Indirectly, you're saying that. And I don't think TNA would be standing for that. I don't think that hurts Fraxiom at all. The whole thing that's been happening with them for like 2 years now is if they lose the first match, they 100% win the second match. You can bet all your money on that. And I think we're going to do something like this here because TNA isn't going to get swept at this pay-per-view. They're not. I highly doubt that's going to happen. But overall, Hardyz versus Fraxiom is going to be a good match. Not as high-paced as you would probably expect, but overall, it's still going to be a great match. Then we have match of the night for me, Jada Parker versus Kalani Jordan. An absolutely insane match. Go out of your way to check this out. This was a fantastic match. I absolutely loved it. And Jada Parker comes out with the victory. They're really pushing Jada Parker. And I'm not upset with that. I love that. Jada Parker is amazing. But you can really see she's one of those girls that's next up that they're really investing in. because she's been on a streak. She appeared at the Royal Rumble. They're investing a lot of money in her, and I can see why. And then when it comes to Kalani, I want him to get to the storyline already. I don't like the fact that she's losing this much. I understand why, they're slowly building towards her heel turn. Just as a major Kalani Jordan fan, I'm not for that. Then we had backstage into Ava's office. Kale Dixon and Uriah Connors tried to give Ava a gift for a new office. And then Trick Williams is just disrespecting me. He's like, this is no time for gifts. This is my time. And then they blame Trick Williams for ending Chase Hugh. And we have a bit of a confrontation between the two. And that sets up a match later for Trick Williams versus Kale Dixon. And you want to take a guess who wins? Kale Dixon actually wins. No, I'm just kidding. Trick wins. Pretty good match. I like that Kale Dixon and Uriah Connors are starting to get time. And somehow all of this is going to lead to them teaming up with Andre Chase, which I'm happy about. And we're going to add another tag team to the division. Can't complain about that. But after the match, we have Eddy Thorpe come out. And it's announced that Trick Williams versus Eddy Thorpe is going to be in an underground match to end this rivalry. And I thought this was going to be on next week. I thought it's going to be on Roadblock next week. No, it's going to be in 2 weeks, which sucks. I thought, Roadblock has such a great card. I mean, man, that card is stacked to the brim. Adding Trick Williams versus Eddy Thorpe in an underground match would be pretty dope, but that's not going to happen. At least you have a major match for 2 weeks, something to hype yourself up about. But I just want this feud to end, regardless how excited I am to see them in an underground match, which I don't know why, but it just feels exciting. I couldn't care less about this feud. I just want it to end. I want this feud to be over with. It's really hurt Trick Williams because he was so exciting last year, and ever since the start of the year, he's been in a feud with Eddy Thorpe, and it's just been a nothing burger. Nobody cares. At this point, Ricky Saints just debuted, and he feels like a bigger star than what Trick Williams is, and that shouldn't be the case. Trick Williams feels like a generational talent, and we're just putting him with Eddy Thorpe. Come on, man. I just want this to end and get this over with so we can be done for. And then we have some backstage press conferences. Oba Femi and Moose have both separate press conferences, and they hype up their match. I talked about this a bit earlier. Oba Femi is 100% going to win. I wish this was for the X Division Championship, man. Oba Femi as the X Division Champion, that would be dope. That would just feel amazing. And, imagine the championship lineage he would have. He would be a former NXT North American Champion. He would be an NXT Champion. He would be an X Division Champion. All of that, and in 3 years of experience, that would be insane. It's not going to happen. But yeah, Oba Femi is going to win. They're not going to have Moose go over Oba Femi. But this is going to be a major victory for him. I'm excited for this. Then we also have a package with Giulia and Stephanie Vaquer. And I've read some reports. Apparently the reason they're having this match already is because one of these women are injured. And I've come to the conclusion that it's Giulia. I don't know if it's been confirmed. I haven't read anything about it. But it's most likely Giulia because Stephanie Vaquer wouldn't have wrestled a match against Carmen Petrovic last week if she was injured. I don't think they would risk it. So it's most likely Giulia, right? And I don't want to say a wrestler being injured is beneficial to a roster because that always sounds mean. But I do think it will be for the NXT Women's Division because Giulia and Stephanie Vaquer both holding both those championships. It limits the Women's Division because neither of them are going to lose these belts for a long time. And Stephanie Vaquer isn't going to have a 6-month reign holding both belts. She's probably going to drop that Women's North American Championship soon, which opens up the entire division for a lot more women to have opportunities. Like Jada Parker, Kalani Jordan, Carmen Petrovic, Lola Vice, Fallon Henley. All of those women were just going to be fodder for Giulia and Stephanie Vaquer, where now they will have opportunities to actually win those championships and it'll be believable. And I do think eventually Giulia's going to come back and she's going to feud with Stephanie for the NXT Women's Championship. But it's just going to open up the whole mid-card scene for all these women, and especially women coming up. I think it's going to be beneficial, and I think it's not going to harm Giulia for being out of it, and it's going to benefit Stephanie Vaquer so much. Then we have Jordynne Grace versus Cora Jade, and Masha Slamovich is in the crowd because she's going to have a match with Cora Jade in the TNA pay-per-view, and she's also friends with Jordynne Grace. Unfortunately, Cora Jade got injured during the match. Now, thankfully, I've read some reports. It's apparently just a head injury and it's nothing major. She's going to be fine, which I was panicking because she's been on a roll recently. Unfortunately, it's kind of going to set her back. And it's kind of upsetting because this would have been a really good match. But yeah, Jordynne Grace gets the victory. And after the match backstage, Roxanne Perez attacks her. I know it feels like I'm rushing over this, but it really wasn't that fun to watch because of injuries, so I don't want to talk about it too much. Overall, it was okay and probably the weakest point of the night. And real quick before I end this video and give my review, what type of content would you guys like to see? Because I know I do NXT reviews and TNA reviews every week, including the pay-per-views. I'm going to try and start doing Evolve reviews too with this show coming out, because I think it would be interesting. If you guys would like to see that, let me know. But aside from all of that, what type of content would you guys like to see me do? Because I'm really trying to grow this channel, get to 1K subscribers, just grow this channel and do more content. So what type of stuff would you guys that watch me like to see and think that I can do better? Like, would you guys like to see my face more? Do you think there's anything I can improve in the videos? Please let me know, because I really want to know, because I'm not sure exactly what I need to do to grow further, and I want to hear from my audience what you guys would like to see. But aside from that, I'd give tonight's show a solid 8 out of 10. Nothing too major happened, but the show was just an entertaining week of wrestling to watch, and I think that's what you should do when, you have episodes that don't mean that much. Because everything progressed, stories, you had some interesting things happen. So overall, it was a solid episode. Again, 8 out of 10. Pretty good. So, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I really would appreciate a like and subscribe, and also comment. Really, comments help out so much. So please just leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the show and what you would like to see from this channel going forward. So I hope to see you again soon, and goodbye everyone.